So I recorded this video yesterday, and as you can see it's like 46 minutes long, 50 gigabytes, and it turns out I had a freeze in the middle, and it turns out Fraps fucked up the audio and it's desync. It's not like equally desynced, so I can just fix it by shifting the audio back 2 seconds. No, it gets more and more desync as the video goes on, and I'm not like cutting the audio for 40 minutes, like extending it. So I'm just recording this again today at 3 p.m. on the day you're going to see this video. So yeah, it's also like I need to get downstairs because of birthday shit. So yeah, I'm kinda in a hurry. Hello, welcome back to another video, and today is the requested tutorial explanation for the 3x3 TNT flash trapdoor from H4FLZ1234. So it turns out if you give me compliments, I like you, and if I like you, I'll do whatever you want. So yeah, here's the explanation for this thing. So you're gonna start with well, the item list, right? So we want 13 torches, 55 dust, 26 repeaters, a stack and 3 sticky pistons, 17 normal pistons, 12 redstone blocks, a lever, 43 comparators. Comparators are like the best thing ever when it comes to TNT. 14 droppers, 34 hoppers, 6 furnaces, 8 cauldrons with water, obviously, and a single detector rail for the redirection bud. You're gonna want 2 stacks and 4 building blocks. If you want to color grade them, here you go. And as well as that, you're gonna need 18 slabs regardless, or stairs, or glowstone, or any transparent block, you know. And you're also gonna need 54 blocks for the tape. And 1/3 of those has to be transparent, so just use glass. It's important because we want to not read a signal through comparator block. And of course 51 TNT for the door frame. And yeah, just like for the hopper dropper bullshit, you're gonna need these items. So these don't fit in one chest. So go ahead and get 22 unstackable items, 2 stacks 56 of stackable items, and then 16, 16, 15 from 16 stackable items. Yay! So again, sorry if I'm in a hurry, because like I am in a hurry, and I just like I had this recorded yesterday and it doesn't work. Oh, by the way, this hole is 10 wide or 10 deep, and then 15 long, I believe. So that's 5 there. That's 15 long, and then it's also 5 deep, right? So yeah, get a 5 by 15 by 10 hole, please. Forgot to build that. Again, I'm in a hurry. I'm terribly sorry. I'm pretty sure like the quality of the video suffers from it because you know, there is... I'm going to not go into so much detail, and this video is hopefully not 46 minutes long because, well, I don't have the time, sadly. I'll try my best. So, this is the tape. Go ahead, we'll start with the tape because this is your input block. That's the tape, and yeah, so we want to start with this corner, I guess. So we have a comparator going into a torch tower, going into a 1 tick, going into a block, and under that is a dropper. If you're smart, you will know that this is a bud, and that's how the tape works. It's also why it's terribly slow, because as you can see, this takes 3 or 4 ticks before it actually pushes, then firing the next. And we're gonna build the same thing over here with a block, and then 2 torches, and then a 2-tick repeater this time. This is important because of the cyan circuit for the double piston extender. And this one can be facing upwards, the other one can't be, and I will go into detail why. So again, this does that a bunch of times. Don't do it too fast. And the way we do this, because we can't have this thing here, is we just connect these up with a hopper clock. You're going to see a lot of hopper clocks just being used as like repeater stuff. like not as a clock, not as a signal delayer, just as like a way to get a signal from A to B with just a single item. So with this one tick and these dust, if we place another one right here, you can see it gets pushed over. And the reason we need this is because there will be stuff on top of here. So yeah, that's 3/4 of the tape done, and then this side is special because this side is the side we're gonna like actually control. So this is one off. These need to be here. Made that mistake last time as well. So we want to place our dropper again, but right there, facing this way with an item in it. Make sure it's not a stackable item. This has to be an unstackable. This has to be a stackable item. Don't make it an unstackable item. We're gonna read this into this. We're gonna put this in a redstone block, and then we're just gonna do that with an updater piston down there. And that's basically another bud, but it's faster. And the good thing about that is we can negate it from here, which is what we're going to do with this cauldron. And it's important that you take out 2, so this is water level 1, because it will be, I will explain that later, right? And then if we now fire this, you can see that if this is on subtract mode, nothing happens. And that's exactly what we want. So whenever a cauldron gets by here, the tape stops. Speaking of the tape, let's just like fill that in. We want, well, I just color code it like this, so you don't have to color code it like this. But yeah, get your glass and just like fill out the entire tape with 2 exceptions. So obviously there's this cauldron right here, and there will be another 2 cauldrons right here with water in it. The middle one again has to be single strength 1, and I will get to that shortly. So take out 2 of the middle one. And of course these are TNT, and then these are just dummy blocks. It's important that the middle slice of this is all transparent, all glass. There can't be any solid blocks in the middle slice here, and like in the entire middle slice. So make sure those are glass or glowstone or whatever. And yeah, that's the entire tape pretty much. So you want to come to the side with the input and place 3 magenta wool with 3 redstone blocks on top, and on this side you want to place 3 lime wool with 3 redstone blocks on top. So you can see like I used the green glass to indicate that that block will get powered indirectly from stuff, and yeah. Which isn't the case here because magenta isn't actually getting powered. Okay, so speaking of magenta, let's just quickly do that, and then everything will make sense regarding the signal strength and shit. So we place a comparator right in the middle with 2 dusts, 3 dusts. This, because there will be redstone blocks here, here, and here. Well, in the entire thing, right? So I wonder how I did that. There is a command block killing everything, every single TNT there is. So yeah, so the way we like, if there are redstone blocks here, we need to grab these TNTs as well. And this is not how the 4x4 works, but the banana works exactly the same. So we grab these backwards. But then obviously this will still be a redstone block at some point, so we need to pull these down. And that's what magenta does. And you can see why this has to be a signal strength of 1 now, because if this is signal strength of 2, these will extend and bad stuff will happen. Especially since when this cauldron is right here, 1 redstone block is right there. And behind here in the middle, dead center, is a thing with 4 snowballs. Or alternatively, you can place the 14 64 items in there, and that will work too. Anything that gets you to single strength 2, basically. Yeah, and that's that. Let's just like show what it does by giving this a single strength 2 tick, and as well as that we can also place this and this, because since the tape spins counterclockwise, this piston can be handled by the tape, because when the redstone block is here, the last one is there, so there is no way this TNT can blow up. And yeah, so if we just give this a 2 tick, and I would probably speed this up in post. And there you saw how the like counterclockwise pistons with the slabs are actually being like done by the redstone blocks themselves, and I don't need to worry about those at all. And yeah, so let's continue with the lime, I guess. So we want to start with the double piston extender. Oh my god, it was all planned. Look how these blocks are here. So you want to start with the redstone block double piston extender right here, which gets powered from a hopper clock right here. And in that hopper clock is a stack and 38 items right here. So yeah, stack and 38, and that goes into a block, into 2 negates, into a 3 tick. So what this does is, because these blocks turn on instantly and these turn on after 3 ticks, you can see that this is an ABBA gate already. And also these are fast enough so that they 1 tick the first row of pistons and do the ABBA retraction. And the way we do the last pulse is just a dropper right here. This torch and this block make a falling edge on the dropper. And put an unstackable item in there. That's important because we need single strength of 2 at least, so get the 3. Actually, we need 3 because we want to put that. So if we do that now, you can see it stays budded, and that's a problem. So the way we're updating that is from red. With this dropper hopper, which is locked. I did the exact same mistake last time. So that's locked, and the way powering that is from here, which is this dropper hopper. So just replace that with a 3 tick and place an updater piston right here for that dropper. Now you notice I didn't place an item in there because if we press F3 right here, this dropper in this state needs to be triggered. You can see on the right it says triggered false. We have this triggered when the thing is closed, open. So we butt that like so, and now it's triggered true, and now we place any item in there really. And now if we do this, you can see it does the full retraction because this locking actually like updates that, and that item shouldn't be in there. Actually, yes, it should be in there. Never mind, I'm talking stupid stuff. So yeah, that works. And for the other side, we just have singles, which are like easy to power, obviously, because it's just singles from this torch with that dust, and that's powered by this hopper timer. Now this is the big hopper timer. This is the heart of the entire thing. We have we have 2 shovels, 2 stacks of snowballs, and a stack of dirt. This is like mathed out perfectly, and trust me, you need this many items in this exact order for it to work, and it's a miracle. It actually worked. I was so sure I had to speed up the tape somehow and was crying already. But yeah, it works. So how are we going to power these? We're going to power this one from right here with this redstone block. And you may be wondering, well, you can see it doesn't update. We want an updater piston right here under a slab. So when this retracts, it retracts. When it extends, but when the tape fires, as you can see that torch, nothing happens. So yeah, good. Did I fuck this up? Okay, this is up. Yeah, so how are we gonna power this? Well, we just use the outermost line, which I just like talked about. So that's a cauldron, that's a cauldron. And yeah. Water in both of those, please, and make sure this one right here is just level 1. It's important, really important. I fucked that up last time and it took me like 20 minutes to figure out why. Comparator, obviously. Why you're wondering why not put repeaters here? Because, well, that and that. Yeah, so we're using cauldrons and like here's another one of those hopper timers, which aren't a hopper timer. It just has one item in it and gets used basically as a repeater. So from this input block, we're gonna do half of brown, just to like do stuff. So we go into a dropper hopper right on top of this torch, which is basically just an invert. Invert right here. And make sure this is an unstackable item, because if this is signal strength of 3, then this, you know, this will turn on these two pistons, and that will fuck up the tape. So make sure that's unstackable. You can see how this inverts, right? If I just put a block here, it would fuck up. And then we want a slab next to this torch, and a dust right there. So that's how that input works. If we turn this off, the item gets stuck in this hopper, and then if we turn it on, the item gets stuck in that hopper. Again, we could just place a solid block in this hopper spot, but then there's TNT on top of that, so yeah, you have to get creative with TNT floor. Yeah, so that's lime done. And yeah, let's just like get to the tape starting mechanism. So when this turns off, when this torch turns off, we want this piston to 2-tick to start the tape. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, I guess we're watching that. Okay, that didn't take us long because we were on the other edge anyways. Yeah, so if this turns off, we want that to 2-tick, and the way we do that is with a neat dropper box. Break that block and either place a dropper or any container will do, but droppers are the cheapest. So yeah, we're gonna suck that into there, and then we're gonna suck that into there with a shovel, please, in it. So when this torch gets turned on, we have this one, and then when we turn it off, we can read that item going through this hopper right there into a block, into another block, and that 3-tick will be enough to start the entire tape. Yeah, so that's one half of blue. Let's actually do yellow next, because yeah, we can't do the last part of blue. So yellow will take care of the 3x3 of the, like the 3x3 part of the singles part of the 3x3. So block storage right here, and well, this single and these three singles. And the way we're gonna power these all is just repeaters running into it, because we can't have this is under TNT, so we can't have stuff here, right? And then yeah, let's just like go from down here with 2 comparators. This one has to be in subtract mode, and we are subtracting a constant 10 from this, like this, with this being a furnace and in there being 2 unstackable items. Replace that dust, please. That goes into a torch, that goes into a piston, that goes into a block, and that powers this comparator through this block when you need an a transparent container right here, which emits signal strength 15, so just use a hopper which is full. So that goes on, that's 15. The reason that this needs to be 15 is because there will be dust right here and a repeater, and we don't want this to like clock, so yeah. This also has to be a slab because we can't bud that obviously, and a repeater, and into a block, this is a 2-tick, into a cauldron. Water, lava cauldron when, question mark. So now we can build the last part of dark blue. We just place a comparator right here. So we are currently on the correct edge, so when this turns on, this will trigger a falling edge right here with the redstone block, and that will 2-tick this one and start the tape like that. And then when we turn this off, the dropper box will do that. So neat usage of the space down here, which would be otherwise kind of useless. Yeah, continuing with yellow, these two go into two comparators. This will create a dual edge monostable right here from this furnace, which has 7 snowballs in it. And yeah, that goes into a slab, that goes into a subtract mode, please. That goes into a dust. This will also 1-tick this one, so yeah, it takes care of the one piston we can't handle. The same on this side. This one just gets powered with a 1-tick, and here the slab doesn't matter because the budding doesn't matter because it's handled by the tape anyways, right? So next up is a comparator right here. And it's important this is a comparator. If this is a repeater, it doesn't work, and I have no idea why. 2 slabs going into that repeater, which we placed before. Another slab because we can't bud that one. A slab right there because we can't hard power that one from itself, right? A 1-tick into the storage, and then 3 ticks into that part. So when we fire this, you can see it does the 3x3 thing. And it does the other 3x3 thing. And these should be red. So yeah, that's yellow done. And let's move on to the double piston extender. The double piston extender is quite complicated. It's not complicated, but the wiring is messy. So we're going to start out with this being a subtract mode comparator for a door popper. Now you may be wondering, shovel please, this has to be unstackable. Maybe wondering why not just let this redstone block, that's too slow. Actually no, that's not too slow, but like the item has to be trapped in the hopper at the top, so when this retracts it would just like pulse that and not get the item stuck. So yeah, place that, and then a comparator reading that into these, because we're gonna have 2 repeaters and a dust right here. A repeater down here, and a comparator here. What this is a falling edge 1-tick, so if we just fire that, you can see that 1-tick. And that's going to 1-tick the double piston extender right here. And afterwards we're gonna use the sticky mechanic of sticky pistons, the way they're actually intended, to pull stuff and not to push stuff. So this will 1-tick, and then these will extend, and then, you know, stuff happens. But yeah, this is the entire closing, basically. So I will just quickly demonstrate that. Oh my god, no I didn't. No I didn't. I didn't. Okay, hold on, we need to salvage this. Anyways, this is now the current state, we are closed, and what's missing is, well, the opening for this, and then these 2 pistons. So for the opening, we want this block to actually be pulled. Fun fact, this comparator perfectly redirects this to not fuck up this TNT. and the ceiling. So how do you do this? We let this piston right here pull this cauldron with water in it. And this piston will, these pistons will play tug of war. So this one right here is powered by brown, which is like so. Again, we could just have a block on top of this, but TNT ceiling. So we just have another one of these hopper things, which just has one item in it. So you can see this will play tug of war. When we flick the lever, this will turn off, extending that, and then on the extension, this one will... Can I fire this? I think I can fire this. Oh, it's powered from here, right? This will just, you know, one tick and pull that away again. So these are actually just there for pulling and not pushing. And I thought that was pretty neat. So yeah, place that back. This timer will also take care of these two, this piston in particular. And for this piston you need 7 items in here. 6 works, but I had 6 would not work on a server, and it's also safer for hopper aging. So just put 7 just to be sure, right? Because when this retracts, you can see that redstone block will be right there, and then this retracts, and should this redstone block not slide out of the way, you will push up this block, and you don't want that, obviously. So just put 7 to be safe. Doesn't matter for this either. So how do we close or open the double piston extender? This is quite the tricky stuff, so pay attention. We have a cauldron falling edge right here. You may be asking, why the fuck do we have a cauldron falling edge right here? Well, you see, a cauldron falling edge has this neat property that comparators don't actually register fast signals. Sometimes, at least. So when we have this, and I'm just gonna put a piston on top of that so we can see, right? If we turn this off, this will fire. But if we turn this off, if 2 redstone blocks sliding next to each other, this won't fire. So this cauldron will only fire when the last redstone block of these actually leaves that slot. And you can see that that slot is right next to that slot where the redstone blocks are when we're done. So this thing will only fire when the tape is done. And what that will do is it will one tick this block upwards, and then we can read the cauldron in the top layer, so that cauldron right there, through this block which is now here, and then do stuff with it. Now the smart of you will realize, wait. On the closing, the redstone blocks actually do a 3/4 rotation, so the redstone blocks will pass by this once on the closing. How do we prevent that from happening? Well, you can see this one tick is actually not gonna reach that. So we need an updater piston. And an updater piston can be blocked by this piston. So yeah, we are currently on this edge, so we are currently closed or in the state of closing, and we just block that updater piston from extending, and that's another cool thing. Like, this design here changed around 8 times, and it would have been done basically instantly if redstone block locks didn't exist for these fuckers. I'm getting mad every single time. Anyways, we want now the really smart of you will realize, well, why do we want a permanent signal? We don't want a permanent signal, we want a pulse. How do we get a pulse out of this? Well, because the tape stops moving right here, you know. How do we get a pulse out of this? Well, the really smart will realize, wait. This piston gets budded from this dust and has a piston under it to update it. That's also why this needs to be a 2-tick, otherwise this will permanently lock itself when the opening happens. So that piston gets powered through there, and fires 1 ticks again, and then the block will be pulled back down. And that's how he pulls this, which is also kind of smart. Almost as if the guy who made this had a brain. So, when we do the second 1 tick right here, this dust will actually 1 tick the redstone block piston right here, and to pull that back in, we just 1 tick, just put a pulse into that one to extend it, you know? And that's why that does that. So this goes into a torch, into a slab to not block the hopper, into a block, redstone repeater. And this right here goes into a furnace with any item in it as long as it's not full. So you can see when this torch, when this goes up, this torch turns off, this comparator turns on, powering this dropper hopper again. Which is what pulses this again, which turns everything off again. So that's how we get the pulse length for the stuff, also perfectly timed, so that's a second grab of this where we only have a 2-tick window to push, actually works out perfectly. So you want a slab right here to power this block when it's in this state. And you want a piston right there to push our detector rail to redirect this, because you know stuff will explode if you point stuff into other stuff. So put 2 shovels in there. We need a single strength of 10, otherwise stuff will happen. So that's how to redirect that, and then we still need to update the butted pistons in the wall. And to do that, we change this dust in the very corner of the TNT with 2 comparators and 2 hoppers right here. Again, you can see it's just used as a fucking solid block under TNT. Make sure there are 2 unstackable items in here, because a hopper with 2 items actually has a different timing than a hopper with 1 item. So, yeah. And then this dust going from 6 to 3 will update the redstone block double in, will update the double in the wall through the TNT. And we're almost done, actually. The last thing that needs to happen is update this cauldron, because this piston will get budded from this to extend, but it will never retract, because when we extend this, we will extend these 2 pistons, and this piston will trigger this dropper, and then this will fire this stuff. So the bud will like the pistons will never update it to retract on the second time. So we just place a 4-tick repeater right there, pointing into air, and that's the entire double. Actually, it's kind of hard to explain properly. You will see how it works. So the rail gets pulled away, also redirecting this piston to this, and you know, you will see. And well, this 1 takes twice. I will explain that, and then this stuff happens. And yeah, so the last thing that's left to do is power this piston with this piston on top of it. And also, we need to get rid of this TNT, because this TNT will obviously be slid by redstone blocks, and we can't have that happen. So we want a piston right here to grab that, and then a piston right here to push that TNT into that slot when redstone blocks are approaching it, which is probably the last part and the hardest part to do. So yeah, we have yet another comparator right here, reading through this block, because, well, we can't have a solid block here with a redstone. So it reads this full hopper, and this needs to be a full container, because this is single strength 13, so just make it full. And this will be controlled with this piston, pushing this block away, and that's controlled by another one of these, which is just an item in in a hopper clock, which is locked. So, again, we could just place a fucking block right here, but TNT ceilings, so... There we go. Yeah, so also we can place a block right there with a repeater to go into the piston below. And that's powered from this dropper box. Again, we have a 3.5 station dropper way right here. And one of the stations is this dropper, one of the stations is this dropper, and one of the stations is actually this dropper. And that's also why you can't have this hopper right here, because you'll know, right? So what's happening here? You can see that the tape is constantly firing these two stations, but this station is never like done by the tape. And that's how we do this. So we start off in one of these states, and when the tape fires 2 or 3 times, the item will get stuck in this. And well, this will happen, you see. And then the only way to get out of this station is when a redstone block enters this block right here. So when a redstone block enters right here, either the tape is done because the redstone blocks are here, or we are on the closing and it will do another rotation. In that case, after 3 more ticks, after 3 more tape cycles, the item will inevitably go back into this station. And that way, there is no way this TNT is here when a redstone block is anywhere else but here, 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 here. So if a redstone block is not here, this TNT is protected. And that's also how the banana works, and the 4x4 does it differently. I will get to that. So we connect these, and then we just point that in there. And yeah, so how do we check if redstone block passes by this block? Well, obviously you just put a dropper on top of that with a thing in it, and that points into there. So when this dropper fires, because there's a redstone block underneath, the item just like leaves this and goes into this one, and then it gets stuck in this one, and then it gets stuck in that hopper, where it actually is when it's opened. And yeah, the last thing that is to just hook these up. And that's the entire door, hopefully. So, yeah, let's just fire it, and I will look at this. Yeah, let's try that again. That seems to be working, and if you look at that, right, you can see why this piston keeps like opening on the closing. Because when the redstone blocks pass by on the next tape cycle, you can see this comparator going on, which then opens this hole for 2 cycles until the tape fires often enough so the item lands back in this dropper. And we're almost done here. There we go. This doesn't have a reset time on the closing, so we can fire this immediately. And there we go. That's the entire opening. You now have to wait for a stack of items, so have fun waiting. You can fill in the last TNT blocks. I hope everything made sense. I know this was kind of rushed. This actually long. I think I did a better job on explaining everything on the previous take, which had the desync audio, which I'm still kind of pissed about. So yeah, initially on the Redstoner I had a thing like this, because I thought that was my only way to get a signal for this corner up, but I ended up using a dropper box right here. Yeah, if you have questions if it was too fast, I'm like terribly sorry, but I'm like in a hurry and already tilted because like my 50-minute recording is useless. So yeah, thank you for watching. I know this was a bit meh. Bye. Not gonna lie, it's kinda weird seeing like your door, but without any sticky pistons. Like this is just the wiring and like the shell, and there are no sticky pistons, and it looks super weird. Like, wow. This gets weirder and weirder. What the fuck? I just took away all the repeaters and doesn't compare. Like, oh hey, this is a block mess. Like, I guess I should remove torches, but they don't really matter because there aren't that many. Like, look at this block mess. Like, this is the block structure which enables the door. It's okay. Like, no joke. This is getting creepy. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, you know when in like showcase videos you have this circuit by circuit showcase? I want to see a block type by block type, because look how, what is this? You would never be able to get, oh my